I was just looking at when our last episode was. I guess it was like 100 episodes ago.
Oh, for real?
I think it was like 169, maybe no, like 159, something like that. It's like March 2023.
Yeah. It was last year, March.
A little bit has changed. We got a TV now since you were here last.
Yeah.
I just picked up this painting. You can't really see it on the set, but Art Sadie's. You know who Art Sadie's is?
No, I don't think so. No.
This girl, she's like a painter. She's also an art teacher, like at a middle school, I think. I'm gonna get her on the show, but yeah, she did that. I got it from the Creatives for Charity weekend. They had like a painting auction. Like the money went to the charity or whatever.
Okay. That picture looks familiar though. Like I feel like I've seen it before somewhere.
It might have been like an actual picture. Maybe there's an actual picture of Pharrell that's like doing that. Maybe she just painted it or whatever.
I don't know.
You might be right.
Maybe I have seen her and I just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How you been though, man?
I've been great.
Your text threw me off a little bit.
Why? Which one?
The personal text. You were like, we could get a little deeper or whatever. I feel like we did 2 episodes.
Oh.
I was like, what is you want to talk about?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it's my 3rd time up here. So I feel like people already know the basics of me pretty much. Like, how I got started. That story's never going to change. What made me get into it, that story's never going to change. Like, they already know this information.
Yeah.
So I was like, we can talk about something else.
We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. If you guys are watching this, so yeah, like she said, we have 2 other episodes. You're one of our reoccurring guests. We don't do like update pods with every single person we do podcasts with, but you're one of our reoccurring guests. We usually do like one once a year. So you can catch her whole story on these other episodes. Like you're a DJ. You do OnlyFans. Do you still do OnlyFans?
I do not do OnlyFans anymore.
Yeah?
I do not do OnlyFans anymore. I was kicked off the platform.
Why?
I don't know why I was kicked off the platform, but it probably had something to do with the fact that I was like trying to gain traffic off of the platform.
What do you mean?
Like I was sending my Instagram, my Cash App, things like that, and I guess they didn't like that. I didn't know that was against the rules, though. They changed the rules a lot. I didn't know that was against the rules, though.
Oh, like they wanted to keep the transactions on their
the
platform.
website. But I'm like, you can't really determine that. Like, as a platform, you can't really determine. How are you going to say I can't make money? I guess that's like an employer trying to say you can't make money while you're on the clock. But still, when you do your taxes on that thing, you're an independent. So it's like.
So you were paying taxes for OnlyFans? You
have to. It's reported. It's reported. Like, everything that they pay you is reported. So, yeah.
What made you want to get into doing that? That's something we didn't talk about, I don't think. Honestly, I've always felt weird to ask you about that. Like, I've never had a conversation with a girl that did OnlyFans or, like, any type of, like, sex content or work. I mean, not directly. Really? So I'm just thinking, like, what's the mindset behind that? Like, how do you... Yeah, like, what got you into that?
What did get me into that? I started dancing when I was like 18. So I think like from there, I was like, well, hey, since I'm doing this, I may as well like, try my hand in a couple different lanes. So I was dancing and then I started like selling content, which I mean, I was selling it. People was asking me for it. And I was just like, oh, well, I guess it's just like another thing that I could do. So I started doing that. But that kind of took off. They liked that. So I was just like, oh, okay. Keep doing it. I was doing it like off of Snapchat for a little bit. And then when OnlyFans came, I got on there. But I was always doing it off like other platforms. People would just hit me up. People on Twitter and shit like that. And I'm just like, all right. So then got on OnlyFans. OnlyFans did good. Things were going good with that, and then I got kicked off the platform. But now I'm on Playboy, so that's where most of my all my content is now.
On Playboy?
Mm-hmm.
What is Playboy doing? I guess I really know Playboy just from like the magazines. Like, what are they doing these days?
Yeah, so they have they actually have a streaming platform, and on the streaming platform, you can follow different girls. You can interact with them. They have it so that you can actually do calls on the website. Like, well, not on the website, like off the app. I personally, that's why I said I'm not tripping about the fact that I'm not on OnlyFans no more, because I like this platform way better. Like it's way more professional. It's way more like upscale, you know, and Playboy is a really like it's a reputable brand. Well, it's a reputable brand in the sex industry. People, of course, all brands have their controversies and stuff, but in the sex industry, it's a reputable brand. So, I mean, it's decent. Like I fuck with it. I fuck with it way more than OnlyFans, and it doesn't have that stigma. Also, like I feel like when people say OnlyFans, like oh you're an OnlyFans girl, like it has that stigma still. I feel like oh well I'm a Playboy creator. Like that just sounds a little bit better.
It's funny how, I mean, is it called sex content? Like, what's the actual content called?
It would be considered adult entertainment. I
Like
guess.
adult content, adult entertainment. It's just funny, like doing adult content, but like moving through the different platforms and like new technologies that come out. Like Playboy's trying to adapt now to
they're
this
trying to adapt.
OnlyFans model. I think me and Karen were talking about like because there's people that try to do like different type of content on OnlyFans, not sexual content, but it's like
Right.
OnlyFans has that stigma. So it's like I wouldn't really go to OnlyFans to do some like random show. I like probably go to like Patreon or something.
Yeah.
But I do like OnlyFans and Patreon because it is bringing that subscription-based model to the masses. Like it's getting people accustomed to paying for content and not just
Right.
like assuming that they have to watch it for free or like on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, and that's something else I forgot to mention about Playboy too. It is subscription based too, so it's along the same lines. But yeah, I definitely enjoy being on the platform. I already was a fan of the brand, so being on the platform is kind of cool to me.
What's some differences? Because I don't think I've ever gotten. I might have gotten one girl's OnlyFans like years ago, but I think it was just like on some random shit. So I don't even know how that works. What I guess from a consumer's point of view, what's the differences between if you're following somebody on OnlyFans or like Playboy?
I mean, honestly, that depends on the creator because it's really in the way that creator does business. But I just feel like the Playboy platform for what I had going on, it was easier for me to do business up there. And then on the Playboy platform, like they encourage you to get traffic off of their platform as well. So those issues that I was dealing with on OnlyFans, I didn't have over there. But it really has to do with the creator themselves and what type of business they do on the platform.
I guess, how does your family feel about you doing this type of work?
I guess they're coming to terms with it now. At first, it was not good. It was not good at all. My family is very religious. They are very, for a while, they were really deep into like the church. So for me to do something like that,
Like, you going to hell, Chrissy?
boy, what? Oh my gosh, they were saying that before I started doing that. They were saying that before I started doing anything in the industry. Like they were saying that for a while, but definitely when I started doing that. So it didn't go over with them too well. But I feel like with me continuing to do it, and it's like a lot of the problems, I guess, or the assumptions that they had about people who do those things, I'm kind of showing them that those aren't true necessarily. So in their own way, they're kind of letting go of the stereotypes and they're kind of being more open-minded. Slowly but surely, they're being more open-minded. And I appreciate that because it's like it's an adjustment on both ends. At the same time, I still have to be like respectful of them too. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like trying to find that common ground where it's like, all right, like this is what my child does. But at the same time, it's like I don't really, like, I don't show them that side or anything. They just know that I do it.
What are some of those stereotypes or assumptions?
The assumptions that they had or just the assumptions that people had in general.
Well, you mentioned them, but I guess people also, yeah.
Well, yeah, of course, specifically for them, the whole like religious thing, they thought that basically being promiscuous was like one of the worst things that you could do. And it's just like, I could think of worse things. Personally, I could think of worse things. So I didn't agree with them there, but that was a assumption of theirs. And then, of course, trying to, like you said, trying to say, oh, well, you're going to hell and like you deserve punishment for those things like that. But I'd say some assumptions from people that aren't them would be, I don't know, just everything negative. It's really weird because it's like, I don't know why that's directed specifically at people who choose careers in that specific field. I don't know why that is. Like, but anything negative you could probably come up with, they try to slap that label on people in the sex industry. And it's just like, why do y'all feel like that's the case? Why do y'all feel like that's the case? I feel like that's mad weird. Y'all don't feel like that about anybody else in any other industry, but y'all do it with us. Like, you can do good business and be a good person and be smart and be business savvy and still have other things going on and still be in the sex industry. Like, but that's just something that people are going to have to learn over time. I feel like the world is adapting to a lot of things. Like, people are starting to be more open-minded about a lot. So we'll see.
What about for the future? Like, how long do you see yourself doing this? I feel like I've seen a bunch of like stories from women that were in the sex industry, but like later in life regretted it or were like traumatized by it. I mean, do you pay attention to stuff like that?
Yeah, I've seen like the soft white underbelly interviews and stuff like that. And it's like, in some instances, that does happen. Me personally, your first question was, how long do I see myself doing it, right? I always said when I was 30, I was going to wrap it up. I'm 28, so I'm not going to be doing this.
So you're near the end of your career.
Yeah, and I already have other things in the works. That's why I was in it. Like, to be real, like, that's why I was in it.
Like, it's a stepping stone to other things?
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to get to that, too, but...
Yeah, but yeah, of course. I always said when I was 30, I was going to wrap it up. I want to have kids and stuff like that, like, all
Do you think that will affect you? Like,
no.
Like in your marriage process, or like how guys will look at you that are, that are thinking about having a life with you?
No, because, I mean, the person that's for me, it won't be a problem. Like, the things that I've done won't be a problem, and the things that they've done won't be a problem for me. Like, I don't believe in that. If somebody really wants to be with you, they'll be with you. So, yeah, and I've dated people, I've had plenty of relationships while doing this. Like, contrary to popular belief, and everything was smooth. They just have to understand, and they just have to be able to see you for more than, I don't know, what others say, really, because that's really what it boils down to. That's stuff that other people are saying that's trying to interfere with how you really feel about a person. If you really like that person, that shit shouldn't matter. And it has never mattered to me, and the person I'm supposed to be with, it won't matter to them. That's just how I feel about that.
I always think, but before we get to like what you would like this to be a stepping stone for, I always thought it was funny how girls would just like, I've seen girls on Facebook that like I went to high school with, like just make a post like, I'm about to start doing OnlyFans. Like when they find out that girls are making a lot of money, and then they'll quit like 2 months later. Like it still is a grind. It's not just as easy as taking a picture of yourself and just posting it and now you're big. So it still is a grind, and you see who has to hustle for it and who actually make it through. I remember one time this girl, I don't know if I went to high school with her, but I just got her on Facebook. She made an OnlyFans, and this was at the time when I was just rapping. So you know how when you're like a local rapper, people kind of just brush you off. Like, yeah, like you might send your link for your song. They're like, yeah, like keep grinding, like whatever, but they'll just brush you off. So I feel like this girl said that to me about my music previous to this. Then she sent me her OnlyFans one time.
And you were
I was like,
nah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm good, but like keep grinding type shit.
Bruh.
And then she quit. Now she quit. And she has like a boyfriend now, I think. Maybe even a kid. But like,
That's good for her. It won't for her.
it's not for everybody. But I will be honest. I always felt like sexual content is the lazy way out for girls, as like selling drugs is for guys. Like if you're a beautiful woman, you could put your mind to it and really do anything. I feel like that's like the lazy route.
Really?
That's how I always felt.
And that's because you assume that selling content or selling drugs is easy. Have you done either one of them?
Yes, I've sold some, not content.
Oh yeah, we're not gonna get into that. We're not gonna get into that.
But I have, I've sold weed or whatever back in the day. So like, it is easier than getting a fucking job.
It's not Well, it depends. Like, you still have to sell it. Like,
I mean,
it
let's be real.
sells at
Drugs
the
sell
end of the
themselves.
day.
Drugs is easy to sell. They sell themselves.
Sometimes, but when you have a whole bunch of people thinking that they do that and they got the best price, they think they got this, they think they got that.
Now, I was never trying to be a
you have
kingpin, so maybe like, you know, if you're trying to really up the ranks, it's probably harder. But just selling a little bit of stuff here and there.
That's what I'm
not,
saying. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that.
So you wouldn't see
That's
OnlyFans and this type of content as the easy way out.
Nah, because you still have to make good content. You have to put effort into it.
It's a lot of competition in the marketplace.
Yeah, it is, but you have to find your crowd. Like, I have a very specific crowd. Like,
What is your crowd? Is it the emo crowd? 'Cause like on that Bobby skit that we did, he was like, "Not my culture. It's not a costume or some shit."
Bruh.
I got the
Nigga
wigs
said,
right there too.
Whatever. What? He was like, what the fuck he was saying?
He said, you obviously care.
Bruh, y'all crack me up with the
So you're
fucking
saying it's
wigs,
harder than
bro.
it seems.
But yeah, it is. It definitely is. You have to put effort into it. Like, I don't know. You can just jump up there and make a little video with your phone camera or whatever, not edit it, not do anything. But if you're actually making good content or you're getting like a videographer or something like that, yeah, like that shit is not easy. You have to actually get up and get ready and record and
Put like production value into it.
you have to promote it. You gotta, it's not as easy as you would think.
So I guess so you're okay. So you started dancing at 18.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said you want to talk about personal shit, so I feel like this is about as personal as we get. So you started dancing at 18. You get into like different content.
Mm-hmm.
You got kicked off OnlyFans because you were directing traffic to like outside sources like Cash App and different shit. You're on Playboy now, which I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
So you said you want to stop this by 30, and this is a stepping stone to something else. What is this next thing?
Dang, do I want to say that on the air?
You don't have to. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know if I want to say it on the air. I'll say it to you though.
You can tell me after the show.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
That's cool. Okay, we'll scratch that then. That's different. I don't know. Like I said, I was always like, I personally wouldn't. I don't know how every guy feels, but like I wouldn't want to marry a girl that has done stuff like that.
That's okay for you. Like,
I know, yeah.
We love
Everybody-
that.
everybody has their own.
It's so many different type of people in the world, bro. Like, it's literally.
But I'm not judging though. Like I'm not judging people
like,
for it. Yeah.
people have their own stipulations on who they want to be with. You can't. That's something that I don't like. I don't argue with people about that. Like,
I mean, it's no reason to argue with anybody about how they're living their life. That's fucking.
that's what I'm saying. It's
life.
like a lot of people, especially like online, they'll get into, you know what I'm saying? They go back and forth with guys when they say that type of stuff.
This
but
ain't
I'm
fresh
like,
and fit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But me, I'm just like,
Them guys corny as hell.
yeah, they are. They're weird. They're next level weird. But I say all that to say you don't have to engage with people who you know aren't checking for you. Like, just go find the people that are. Because it's people, for every guy that's on the internet talking about, oh, I could never be with a girl, da, da, da. It's like, it's more that's like, that's my type. Literally. Like, people like a bunch of different stuff. Everybody has stipulations. You can't force nobody to want you.
Okay, so you're dabbling in this. It's gonna be a stepping stone to something. I guess we'll see what that is. For people that are watching this, I feel like you're like a staple in the 757. You've been DJing out here and doing shit for like a long time. People can see the history of that on previous episodes. I know you're spending that New Year's Eve at Crocs.
Yes, I am.
You ready for that?
Yeah, shout out to Inner City Kids. I think that's their name. Let me make sure I say it right. I think it is Inner City Kids, but yeah, I am spending at Crocs on New Year's Eve. Shout out to Chad. Have you interviewed Chad? Has he come on
Chad?
the show?
Or Chad?
Well, he used to go by Swervy, but his Instagram now is the only Chad that matters.
Oh, I've never met him, but I think I just seen him and Randana did a song recently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep, they be making music and stuff. But yeah, so that's
Is that his show?
Oh yeah, so yeah, he's the one who actually asked me to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, but it's the collective. It's their event. But yo, I'm gonna be at Crocs on New Year's Eve. It's gonna be a lot of people. They added so many people to. That's what I'm saying.
I think Full Metal is performing too.
Yeah, Full Metal. Like I want to find the flyer so I can make sure I tell.
Bro, it's a few moves happening for New Year. So we got that at Crocs. There's the R&B block party. I think Family and Family went on DJ DC tonight. They're promoting that. I think that's gonna happen tonight. So we got the R&B block party. There's the Annex, Social Supply, Traptastic, Bala, and I think I'm missing somebody, but they're doing something at Annex, and Kello and them are doing shit at Assembly, which I'll be at. I'm gonna stop by Assembly and then I'm gonna go to Annex. That's where I got my tickets for. Okay. But there's a few moves happening. It's like 4 or 5 different things happening.
Yep. Okay, so I got the flyer. So it's Inner City Spirits. Shout out to them. Okay. So the event is curated by Chad and PYT, and then it's Full Metal. On the flyer it says Full Metal Parkas, and Fake Uzumi, and then I'm spinning 2, of course.
And I think Y's up there too.
Right, but they added more names. So I gotta go to the most recent drop of the flyer because they added Low up there, and I think added Wise Chad, up there.
Not because y'all feel like Chad probably dropped that bag on Fake Azumi for him not to spend that at Annex.
I was about to say, bro, I don't know how the fuck that went.
They had to drop a bag on Doc.
Bro, I don't know how the fuck that went. That ain't none of my business though. But it's like, damn. But I don't know. That shit gonna be lit though. Yeah, I don't know. That shit gonna be all right though. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait. I gotta find something to wear.
Yeah, I think me and my shorty gonna Uber out there. I got my car towed last time I went to Virginia Beach. I went to this little Christmas party.
That's the worst.
Bro, I went in there for literally an hour. I parked at the Papa John's by Duck Dive, and I was the last car in the parking lot. Like the whole parking lot was full, and I saw the sign after, but there's like a no parking sign on the front entrance, but we came into the back. Bro, I had to pay $230.
Yes.
I was like, bruh. Yes. I went to get my car, and the guy I was like, bro, like he was like, yeah, we just picked like 5 cars up off that lot.
Oh my god. Like, it was the one that's out there on the ocean front, right? The lot that's out there on the ocean front.
It's not like on the ocean front, but it's like a couple streets back. You know where Duck Dive is and like Back Bar?
Yeah.
It's the Papa John's right next to like Back Bar.
Oh, okay.
So it's right there. But he was like, yeah, we just took like 5 cars off that lot. I'm like, bro, well, just let me get mine back then. You made enough money. Like, and then we got my car back, went back to Duck Dive. We leave Duck Dive, and it's that same tow truck driver in the same parking lot against somebody else. I'm like, bro, you are an asshole, bro.
Bro, you got to get a tow truck.
Bro, last time, that was my no, that's not a bad idea. Tow truck business is a great business. No, that was my second time in my life getting my car towed, bro. The first time, I was so pissed, I literally started a petition. This was like 6-7 years ago. I went into my boy's crib on Dresden for like literally 30 minutes, bro. Came out, my shit is gone. So I went to the little business to get my shit back. And this is where I found out that you have to pay to get your car out. I'm like, you can't just send me a bill to my house? Like,
what?
They're like, no, you got to pay right now to get your car back. You don't know about this? You never got your car towed?
Oh, no, I know that, but I'm just surprised that you didn't know that.
So that's my first time getting my car towed. So I'm thinking like, so I'm like, bro. I'm like, bro, that was what my petition was. I was like, bro, we need to change the law.
That's because, a good idea, though.
Bro, if I go to the doctor and get life-saving care and get my bill sent to my house, why can't I do it if my car gets towed? So you telling me if I have a Lamborghini that's worth $200,000 and I don't pay you $200, you own my car now? Get the fuck out of here.
Bro,
that don't make sense,
you
bro.
have to get a tow truck and a lot. That's the only way.
They fucking up the game, bro.
Bro, it's crazy to think about it that way though, because you're absolutely right.
They own your car.
What if I don't pay that $250? Like, you get to keep the shit,
and your car could be worth whatever it is. Now they own it for $200.
And then like, what do you do with them? Like, what the fuck? That's wild.
They probably sell them.
That's actually crazy. Yeah.
So I started a petition. I got a few
signatures.
It didn't go anywhere.
I would have signed that shit. Dang. So start it up again.
I need to. So, okay, so you're spending at Crocs for New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Did you spend at the Key Show at Jam Cafe?
Yes, I did.
I didn't see you there. Were you there the whole night? You see me in there?
I don't know. I left.
I got there like right before AJ started performing. Did you see AJ perform?
No, I was there for AJ.
Oh, I didn't see you.
The only person that I wasn't there for was Key, and the other person on the name, on the flyer, his name I don't really remember. It's like L something though.
Oh, Jubo.
Yes.
Yeah, Jubo hard.
Yeah.
Him and Key have actually had a lot of music together.
I haven't heard any of his music, but I'm gonna check him out.
You should go back and watch we did a skit with Jubo at the end of last year where like it was like a Balenciaga skit. That shit is hilarious. He's like sitting in his closet with like all his Balenciaga gear on and he's watching, it's like in the dark kind of, it's like just dim lighting. And he's watching, he has like the big Balenciaga boots on, all Balenciaga out.
That's what I'm saying. He came in, he was dripping. Yeah. He was fly as fuck.
He's sitting in the closet. He's sitting in the closet watching a video on his phone of Kanye like, fuck Balenciaga, fuck this, fuck that. And he's just like looking sad. That shit was funny. But that's my boy. Actually, I met Key that night. So I met him on some random shit. And I became a big fan of his music, watching him perform. Because like I listened to a few of his songs, but I was never like super like indulged in his music over the years. Mm-hmm. So he did my favorite song that I like by him, which is Legit. And then just seeing him perform and like his swag and his confidence in how he does his performance, like I was like a big fan of him. But I met him on some random shit. It was that dude, Savvy Hendrix. Mm-hmm. So he called me back to like the little VIP section. I didn't even see Key at first. I'm just going back there to say what's up to him. I end up like bumping into Key and shit. And I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, yo, I got a pod or whatever. Like, I would love to have you on a pod. He said he was down. So he was like, he's down for a virtual. Or I was like, bro, I'll come to Atlanta too. Like, we'll pull up to Atlanta for that shit. Yes. And he was like, talk to my boy and shit. So I talked to his boy. They seem nice. They seem like they're down. So we'll see if that happens. I don't know.
I think that would be good. I think that's a good idea. I think you should go down there.
Bro, we're going to try to make it happen. I feel like we the new underground.
Yeah.
So that only be right. Like, we did the RSK shit.
Yes.
I feel like that the streets needed that. I feel like a few people, I feel that way, but also a few people have said that that's RSK's best interview.
Okay.
So we're trying to do the part 2. Somebody was just on my live the other day talking about we need the part 2. I feel like me and RSK Nephew's pod was everything that Drake and Bobby Altoff's pod was supposed to be. If that makes any sense.
See, I didn't watch that.
I watched some clips of it. It wasn't really like, it was kind of weird, but it was like this he's like, even though he's still underground, but he's like this big artist and I'm like this unknown podcaster. Drake's this big artist and Bobby was this unknown podcaster. And she was like, actually, she's like forcing it, trying to be weird. Like that's her little like character.
Okay.
But I was genuinely feeling awkward in that episode.
Right.
If you watch the RSK and Nephew pod, like the comments is like, yo, the awkward silences make this so much better or some shit. But it was like genuine awkwardness. Like I didn't know what to expect going into that interview. Yeah. So it's like,
you don't know what to expect with him. That's the thing.
Also, you guys linked up when he was in town. How was that? You guys went to Chickasee or Feather and Fan?
No, we went to Feather and Fan, bro. Neff is fucking hilarious, bro. Neff is like, he cool as fuck. He's cool as fuck. Like, he's literally, I would say, one of the coolest rappers I know. Because he acts like a real fucking person. Like, I appreciate that shit so much. Ever since, my first, like, experience with him was when Scholar had booked him for a Halloween show that I was a part of, I was helping out with. And that's how we connected. Like, I met him through that show. And we just been cool as fuck ever since. Like, every time he's in Virginia, he'll hit me up. He'll be like, yo, I'm out here. Like, what's up?
I thought you was dating that for something.
Everybody think that. Yeah. Okay, that's my work husband. Like, whatever. He already said that shit on the phone. But no, we not. We just cool as fuck. He literally, like, it's on brand for him. Like, that's what he do. He goes city to city. He be chilling. He be with all the bad bitches. Like, yeah, that's what he do. So I fuck with it. He cool as fuck. And every time he called here, it's mad love. Like, he went on 18's podcast.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I think you were sitting up there with him too, right?
Just hanging out. He told me to come up there and say, I was like, all right, cool. We chilling. We on the podcast. That shit was a vibe. And yeah, so.
Bro, I always got to give thanks to bro, RXK, because he's like the reason we got monetized. Like we did the episode with him. And like we were like probably like halfway to the monetization level because you have to have like 4,000 subscribers. No, it was like I think 1,000 subs and like 4,000 watch hours or something like that.
Oh, word.
We were like halfway there, and then we did an episode with him, and that dropped, and that took us like the rest of the half.
Nice.
So he kind of put us in a new level to be able to get money off YouTube. He accepted the collab.
Oh, okay.
So that like was big. That's just, it's still pinned on our page. It's like our biggest episode.
Okay.
My boy Drew set that up. Drew Famous. I don't know if you know who that is.
No, yeah, I heard him.
So he plugged that in for us, and like I didn't even know that I was doing that till like the day before. But yeah, that was a cool one. I want to do the part 2.
Yeah, y'all should definitely do a part 2. I mean, he enjoy like that's why I say he real as fuck because he likes to do those type of things for people. Like he like to help people. You know what I'm saying? And as long as it's mutually beneficial, but it's like he likes to do shit with people. He like to collab with people and work and help people boost their shit. So,
bro, he been showing like Zero and Motley.
That's
and
what
them
I'm saying.
a lot
Yes,
of love.
he show
like,
people love.
yeah.
It's all love with him.
I think Zero in Brooklyn right now with him. Is it Brooklyn? Zero's out of town right now, about to perform with him. I think tonight with him and like Christ Dillinger and some other people.
That's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's all love. It's straight love with Neff. That's a
bro.
real nigga.
So how do you? So okay, we pivot a little bit. So you've been out here. I might have asked you this on the last episode. Forgive me. We can do a little refresh. You've been out here on the scene, doing shit, DJing, for like a long time, for like probably over like 5 years, maybe even closer to 10 damn near. Let's say like
I started throwing shows in 2017, but I started DJing in 2022.
Okay.
So, yeah, what is that? It's 2020. Yeah, like 7 years, 6 years, 7 years.
I was gonna ask you, how do you see the scene right now? How do you look at the scene right now? Like, I feel like we have a real scene. Shit's bubbling.
Yeah.
A few of our artists, few of our platforms are doing things like making noise outside the area.
Bruh.
I feel like 2025 is looking great.
It is. Like, I'm so glad that it's to the point now where it's like this. Because for a second, like, it got really, really dark. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened, but it's like niggas kind of lost hope in what was going on. Like, we started it off, we had a little thing going. Then, like, once the venues and stuff started shutting down and, like, it was just a lot going on. And I feel like people lost hope because they felt like we lost momentum. But I'm so glad it's like back in this little Renaissance era and now everybody's doing stuff. There's so many platforms. There's so many shows. Like, you cannot say that there's nothing to do in Norfolk or in the 757, period, like, at this point. And there was a time where you actually could say that, and it was kind of wild. But right now, it's like you cannot say that because everybody is doing something. Everybody's collaborating. Everybody's doing events. Like, we have a real live scene now. And then not just an underground scene. We have, like, a fashion scene. We have, like, all these, we have art. We have so much different stuff. And I think that that's so great. Like, that's what so many people were fighting for. Like, it's just beautiful. I'm so glad. Like, and then even down to the fact that we have so many podcasts and like platforms where artists can come and do
That's what we were missing
and
for the
stuff.
longest.
Yes, because everybody, like, I love a non-exploitative platform. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like a lot of the platforms that these artists were trying to get on, they were mad exploitative. I'm not even going to say their names because I'm not into like bashing people for real. But
what do you mean by exploitative though?
Just exploitative toward the artist, like not giving a fuck about the narrative that they put out about the artist or whoever is on a podcast. Like, just not giving a fuck about the narrative that they put out, not giving a fuck about what type of information they're potentially informing people about. Like, you don't know who's watching these podcasts. These are artists at the end of the day. Like, you got to protect them and you have to protect their narrative. And I feel like a lot of these platforms weren't doing it. They were just talking about anything and everything just for likes and views. And that was mad corny. Like, I ain't like that. So I'm glad now that we have more organic platforms where artists can come and tell their story so that they can get fans that actually fuck with them for their story and not just because of some viral dumbass shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad we have those platforms in place. And I'm glad, like, I love Off-World. I love 18. Like, I just love it. I'm so glad.
Thank you. I think people were just doing that type of stuff because that did used to work. Like, even if we're talking about like No Jumper, they're still doing that. But you see No Jumpers falling off because people don't care about that chasing drama shit. Like, people, like, we're in the day and age of authenticity. Mm-hmm. People want to see who you really are. Yeah. And people want to follow a nice person, somebody who's kind to people and are just and are grinding and are being a good person. It's like in real life. Nobody wants to hang out with you if you're a bad person. If you're just always trying to get into some drama and you're always talking shit about people, like, people will kind of like stay away from you.
Yeah.
And that's that's coming into the content game too. And what it also is that people have options now.
Like they don't have to watch that dumbass shit.
Like you don't have to watch it. If I'm like it, I'll go watch 100 other things.
Literally.
Right? So it's like we came up. I'm 29. I just turned 29. So I came up watching. Okay, I'm watching like Breakfast Club, shit like that. But it's like we're watching these interviews with rappers, with these like random interviewers, and it felt like the rapper didn't want to be there.
They probably didn't.
They like you think of like the classic like Wayne interview when he's just like falling asleep or like kicking the interviewer out or like that's what we came up on. But we watched that shit because we didn't have other options. Yeah. Now we're in a day and age where it's like you're watching real like a great podcast is two people that genuinely want to talk to each other and just having a conversation.
Yeah,
it's not
with the mics, yeah.
And it's like not performative. It's not just like no weird shit. It's just like we're just talking about like what we generally want to talk about.
Exactly.
And that's why we also try to keep money out of this. Like I will never charge a guest. Like I had somebody on my live earlier trying to ask me how much do you charge to get on the show. I'm like, well, like you actually can't pay to be on the show. Like I have like literally like hella people in my DMs trying to pay to get on the show, but I feel like that would ruin the atmosphere that we're trying to create.
Yeah.
So it's like even if we, God willing, get to millions and millions of views, I will never pay somebody for an interview, and I will never let somebody pay me for an interview because I feel like that's the credibility of the show. That's like, and that's why I show up. I just feel like it would make things weird.
Right.
But people have options. So it's like, and there's a lot of competition in the marketplace right now. So I don't know where I was going with that. But yeah, the exploitive stuff I think is gone. That's why you see platforms like No Jumper dying out. Nobody cares about
People
shit like that.
People don't want to see that shit. People do not want to see that shit. I never wanted to see this shit, to be honest with you. But
also, I feel like even so you're talking about we have a lot of stuff to do in the city as far as creative wise. Even though, like some of us we're getting out, we've had little viral moments. Who's Next had little viral moments. Social Supplies had their viral moments. But like even though we're not consistently like reaching the world, what it is right now is we're like practicing. So like what I've been saying is like the 757 has everything you need to develop as an artist. So to go from just making music to figuring out your sound, working with other people, to hitting open mics, figuring out your stage presence, building a core fan base. Like your core fan base can be here. So like even though
you think
like
we're not reaching the world,
some of us are on occasions, but I would say not consistently.
Really?
Who's reaching the world consistently?
There's some. I feel like there's so many people from here that are reaching the world that we just kind of like.
Oh, I guess I'm talking about the underground scene. Well, who are some of those people?
Even our underground kind of reaches the world. You don't think Tracy reached the world?
I wouldn't even put him. I feel like he's past that. Like he's not really in the mud with us anymore. I don't think.
But
he's in a higher level than I would say the majority of us.
I mean, he still reached the world though.
Yeah, he does. He does. So I'm saying I wouldn't put him in the category of people I'm talking about.
Really? So,
yeah.
Well, what category are you talking about?
I'm talking about the people on the rise. People on the rise, on the come up in the 757. I don't think Tracy's on the come up. I want to put him like on the come up category.
Yeah, not on the come up. No, for sure not. But I think,
like, I would put us on the come up. I'll put Social Supply on the come up. I'll put rappers like Zero on the come up. Even though he's reaching more people now.
Okay.
People like that.
Okay.
I feel like Tracy's kind of like he's bigger than that.
Okay.
But like I'm just saying, like I feel like we have everything we need to develop as an artist, and we didn't have that before. Like you're kind of just shooting in the dark, like just trying out shit, which you're still doing that, but you need to have a little circuit to run around in and like figure out who you are.
Well, yeah, we do we definitely offer a lot of those type of platforms, and that's kind of why I encourage artists to go to things like open mics and stuff like that, so that you can work on just your artistry. You know what I'm saying? Like people will ask to get on shows and stuff or like festivals or whatever the case may be. And it's like a lot of the times they aren't necessarily ready for that.
They never even performed. Like
yeah, like they don't, like you don't even know how you would deal with a crowd that size, but yet you want to be on a festival stage. And that's not to say that you can't do it. You can do it, but you want to, for your own sake, you're going to want to practice before doing that. Like you're going to want to make sure that your look is together, your sound is together. Like you know how to interact with the crowd and you have stage presence and things like that. And then you want to make sure you have enough fans too. Like, or well, not fans, supporters, because that's what they are. But yeah, like you want to make sure you're ready for stuff like that. So that's why I appreciate the small, like, I don't want to say smaller platforms, but just like the platforms where artists are able to come and do that because it's needed.
Yeah, people want to skip the steps. I mean,
Yeah.
perfect example of that is Ice Spice. Ice Spice blew up, and that was the whole thing. Like the first like year of her career, everybody's like, she don't know how to perform because she actually didn't. She just blew up and without really performing like that.
She
not to like
ready.
knock her. That, I mean, that's still a blessing.
I'm not knocking nobody, but yeah,
that's an
like she
example of
wasn't
that.
ready, and it's like she could have like, I feel like she just was in the wrong hands. I don't know who like her management is or anything like that, but I just feel like she was in the wrong hands. If she would have had some people around her to be like, look, all right, you went viral. This is what we're going to do. We're going to do this. Like, you're going to start going here. We're going to start doing this and that. Like, is this what you want to do? Do you feel comfortable with that? Because this is what we're going to do. We're going to actually build you into an artist as much as we can with you being successful overnight.
You don't think they did that? I would say they put her in some cool places. She did a lot of shit. They had her at the NFL game next to Taylor Swift. They had her.
Yeah.
She was doing some shit.
They did, but they didn't like, what's her brand? Like, they didn't brand her for real.
It was the little pose, the little bend over, shake your ass pose. That's
not enough. Like, I mean, really no, we have to. What's the vision here? Like, that's when you question. Hear Ice Spice's name, what do you see? What do you think of? Like,
well, it's different now because it was the ass,
and that's now cool. But like, we have to build around that. Like,
now it's like poopy.
Is it ass and a bubbly personality? Is it ass and like?
What's her personality?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, what is it? What's the brand? Like, what are we girly? Are we like street bitch? Are we rock star? Like, what is it? What's the brand? And I just didn't. I don't know. I don't know which one.
I think it just goes back to what we were saying. She really wasn't developed.
Yeah, she wasn't developed
as an artist.
Yeah,
So you see how that looks on the big stage.
Yeah,
somebody who's not ready for it. That's why I just tell bro. I'm not in a rush to blow up. Like I feel like every year I feel like I'm ready. Year goes by, I look back like, damn, I kind of wasn't ready, and I'm kind of glad it didn't happen yet. Because what can happen is you get your moment and you're not ready, and it just goes to the wayside. You fail because you kind of only get one chance at this.
Yep.
It's like, don't skip those steps.
Yep. You just said some shit just then. You actually just said some shit just then. You need to make that one of the little...
What about feeling ready?
About asking for something and not being in the right place to receive it, and then you blow it. Like, I don't think people realize how real that is. And that goes, like, across the board for real. Because you could ask, like, even money, relationship, opportunities, all type of things you could ask for. Like, I don't know if you, like, believe in God or whatever, like praying, whatever, like praying, manifesting, whatever you believe in, you could keep trying to ask for it and get it. But if you're not in the right place to receive it, it's like you kind of do your own self a disservice.
I definitely believe in God. We try to do things on our own time and think we know what's best. But sometimes you gotta thug it out. You gotta be patient with shit. I don't know. I just feel like I'm just constantly getting better as time goes on.
Yes.
So it's like, it'll happen when it's supposed to happen.
Right.
I feel like this is my destiny. I feel like this is my calling. So
that's the important thing.
I just kind of keep showing up. That's what keeps me going. Like, and then most creatives go through that. Like, you don't really have a direction. We're just shooting in the dark with a lot of this shit. But if you genuinely feel like this is your passion and this is like your calling, you'll continue to show up and do it.
Exactly.
Even when it seems like it's going nowhere.
Exactly. You have to have that drive because that's the only thing that's going to keep you like, that's the only thing that's going to keep you
sane for real.
Sane. And that's the only thing that's going to keep your, whatever you're doing, it's going to keep the authenticity. Like, you have to have that hunger still, you know? Like, I feel like even with artists, you can kind of tell in their music when they lose like their hunger or their drive, or they forget why they got into this. And I feel like when that happens, that's kind of when you do sell out, if you believe in that term. Like, that's kind of when you sell out. When you forget about your purpose and the main reason why you started doing something and just start doing it for other reasons, then, yeah, that's the definition of selling yourself out. So you got to keep that initial purpose, like, always keep that in mind, because that's going to be the thing that keeps you going, and it's going to be the thing that keeps you, like, authentic to yourself and true to yourself.
Yeah, I think you got to stay true to yourself. But I would say what I've also realized is when you make things, like, make your purpose, like, about something that's bigger than you, it gives you drive as well.
Yeah.
So it's like me, it's like, okay, just for example with this podcast, one of my goals is to create a platform that can really help other people make their dreams come true. So, like, if this podcast had millions of viewers right now, and I have a guest on that's an unknown person, but I think is fire, boom, we just catapult to their career. So it's like, that's one of my goals. And so that's keeping me, if I'm just thinking about myself and my selfishness of me wanting to win, I think, like, I don't think I'd have the drive like that. So, like, attaching your purpose to something bigger than yourself will give you that energy and will help you keep going.
See, and that's kind of how it was. Like, that's how I felt about throwing shows when I was doing that real heavy. Like, I really enjoyed just being a platform where people could kind of come and get eyes on them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what was going on. Like, artists was I was bringing artists that some people had never even heard of before. Like, I was even coming over here getting people swing.
I think I found out about AJ at one of your shows, because I went to one of your shows at, like, 2017.
Oh, for real?
I think we talked about it on another podcast, but yeah, that was like.
Well, shout out to you again.
I think because I actually watched some of it earlier. I think it was at Charlie's.
Yeah.
Yeah, like 2017.
Charlie's was like 2019.
Like, yeah. Okay.
That was like 2019. Yep. 2017, that was when we were in a warehouse in Park Place.
Maybe it was 2019 then. But it was.
Yeah, it was Charlie's. That was 2019. But yeah, it was just like, it was a place where people could come and get hip to different artists that weren't necessarily getting heavily promoted at the time. And because of those shows, a lot of really good connections happened. So I loved being a part of that. Like, I loved being a part of the artist's story and the artist's journey, and just, like, being able to help people have those moments. It was a lot of moments that happened at those shows. Like, that shit was lit. Like, people were getting turned off them shits. So I'm just glad that I could be a part of that. It's a lot of artists, like, it's a lot of artists that aren't even here anymore that was on the stages. Like
who?
Pape was up there. Slime was up there. Danny was up there. RIP to all them. Guala was up there. RIP to Guala. Yeah, like,
how does that feel? Because how does it feel creating and working with people that have passed away? Because we've had one person that I've done a podcast with that passed away. Rest in peace to Trady Stunner. Okay. So that I didn't know how to feel about that, because, like, we weren't, like, the best of friends. Like, we did a podcast. We actually were supposed to do another one. But, like, I don't know, I always kind of felt weird about that. How do you look at stuff like that? Like, do you feel like this, like, I don't know, it's like this person, like, you were a part of their journey and somehow, and it's like they passed away, but, like, they almost kind of, like, I mean, even for, like, we're talking about the podcast, like, they kind of, like, live a little bit through the content you guys made, or, like,
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like, I feel like in those situations, like, I can see how that would make you feel weird, but in a way, you're kind of helping with their legacy. Like, you're helping them to live on. And everything that you did for them or with them, or, you know, however y'all did it, it's a part of their story. So yes, you're helping pretty much keep them, like, immortal, if you want to look at it like that. Like, art, music, all that stuff that's left behind when we pass away, that other people are going to be able to access and enjoy. Like, I don't think people really understand how deep it is. When you're creating something, you're putting something here that people are it's going to be felt forever. Like, it's your art, it's your music. People are going to hear it, people are going to see it and feel something. So when somebody passed away that was on your platform, you should feel, like, thankful that you get to be a part of that, for real. Like, I can see how it makes somebody feel weird though, because it's like, damn.
No, I wasn't saying like weird, I guess in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad with like death. Like when like my friends have somebody that passes away or something, like I just never really know how to handle that. I don't know what to say or like, I don't know.
Yeah, I used to be bad with death too, but I feel like I'm trying to say this without sounding like morbid or weird, but I feel like the more life goes on and the more you experience it and you have more like experience with it, the less you feel that way. Like you kind of know how to talk to somebody who's going through that or who's dealing with that because you have experienced it in some way. And then also at the same time too, it's like death is not necessarily morbid. It's a transition. Like it's literally just a transition. It's just a transition. So just don't think of it as something bad. Think of it as something that's a part of life because that's really what it is.
That's a part of life. Yeah. My mom always said, only thing we know for certain in this life that we're going to die.
For real. So that's why, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's important to put your content out, put your art out, put your music out. Like it's about what you leave behind.
Yeah, I guess, you never know when or how this will impact somebody.
Exactly.
A kid could see something you do like 20 years from now, just on some random shit on YouTube, that shit pops up.
Exactly.
And it could change their perspective on life or give them an idea or something like.
Exactly. I still listen to every single artist I just named that passed away. I still listen to their music. I still play their music. So it's like, as long as I'm here, they still, you know what I'm saying? But
I've also been thinking lately about a lot of our artists that I feel like are great and that for some reason or another didn't go to that next level. What do you think it is about a lot of our artists that stops them from like really just taking it there?
Well, I think it can be attributed to a couple of different things. I've seen a couple of different cases where that happened. I would say management, but I feel like we can't put the blame entirely on management because at the end of the day, it's the artists themselves. A lot of people really be stopping themselves, like, and I've seen it in real time. I didn't believe it. Like, I've never really seen what that looks like until I've seen, like, okay, that's what that is.
How does that look like?
Like you said earlier, just asking for stuff and not being in the right place to receive it. And I feel like with a lot of our artists, like, but that's, I hate to keep jumping around. I'm so idiot,
no,
Lord. But that's why it's important to have artist development, and the artist has to be in the hands of the right person. Because if they're in the hands of the right person, this won't happen. Or if they have a team behind them who actually gives a fuck about them, this won't happen also. But a lot of times, these artists aren't mentally in the right headspace for the career that they're trying to pursue. And it's like, they want to do it. They want to make music. They want to be an artist, but there's a lot of other things that they have to take care of first, like health, mental health, things of that nature, so that they can even be in the right space to be the artist that they want to be. And a lot of artists couldn't necessarily get to that next level because they were dealing with things while trying to be an artist. And it's like, it can't really work like that. Like, you have to be in the right space to be able to create and think freely and be an artist. If you're still dealing with all that stuff, you're not going to be able to do that. And so you slow yourself down and you kind of stop yourself and you're not able to progress when you do stuff like that. Management plays a part in it, yeah, but ultimately it's the artist, like, and their headspace and where they're at with things. So that's kind of a little synopsis of how I feel about that. But yeah, people definitely be in their own way.
Chrissy, I think that's a fire spot to leave him at. Is there anything else you want to touch on? Anything else you want to leave people with? Catch her at New Year's Eve at Crocs.
Yeah, definitely catch me.
Oh, yeah, also appreciate you for spending that Wave Fest with us. That was a fun day.
Yes. Oh my gosh. No, we have to talk about that. I can't believe you didn't say anything about that.
Why? What you want to say about that?
I can't believe you didn't.
Bad experience?
No. What? What the fuck? Damn. Did that sound like I was about to say
it sounded like
was
you
a
about
bad
to say,
experience?
nah, I've been wanting to tell you this.
No,
this
I said wow
shit.
because I can't believe we didn't say anything about that. Like, I didn't say anything about this year. That's wild. But no, shout out to you for even having me on the Wave Fest. Like, that
For
was
sure.
so thoughtful, and I really appreciate that because that was real as fuck. That was real as fuck. Like, you a real one for that one. So, yes,
For
my
sure, I
experience at
appreciate it.
Wave Fest was great. It was awesome. Like, I was chilling. Everything, like...
You know, they had us in the cut, but it's cool. People saw
Yeah,
us
that's what I'm
weigh in.
saying. It was cool. Like, I feel like for us, that was the perfect location. Where else would we be but in the cut? You know what I'm saying? Like, we're underground. Like, what the fuck? We still popped our shit. We still did our thing. Everything was professional. Everything was smooth. Everything was perfect. Like, sound, everything, screens, everything. Like, what? That shit was
seeing
lit.
the intro on the screen was fire. I also was fire that they had us like right next to the front gate, so everybody that walked into the show saw us first.
Exactly.
Like,
They
we're the
had
first
to
thing
see
they
us.
saw.
They had to see us. I thought that was so great. Like, all the DJs snapped. The panel was great. That was just great. I had fun. Frankie made a nice recap video for me.
He made some cool videos.
Yes.
Karen did a little
so
video
nice.
too. That shit was fire. I really wanted to meet Sexy. But it ain't work out.
You
but
know what? I did too. On some crazy shit, like, I did too. But you know me, I'm not pressed. Like, I'm not going to ask anybody, no. Like, if I meet her, I meet her.
that was the first time I knew
not,
because like we had backstage passes. Like we were up in that
Yes.
trailer and shit the whole day.
I was back there.
Well, I think you might have been back there like when the bigger artists came. I didn't
I
go back
was.
there.
I seen her walk in.
I didn't know it was like that. I didn't know that like
Yeah.
even the people with backstage passes, when the headliner comes, they kick everybody out. I'm like,
Nah, I
yeah,
seen
I'm
her
not gonna
walk
pass and
past.
shit. They like,
I don't know how. That's what I'm
Nah,
saying.
like-
Like, I must admit, I don't know, because it was a couple people back there. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
so you
how
were in the trailer when she walked in the trailer?
when they walked through, I didn't I wasn't right beside her or nothing like that. But I was at a table and I was talking. I was actually talking to one of my homeboys that do security, and I just heard like a bunch of people coming in. And I was just like, "What the fuck?" And then there was people like, "Oh yeah, that's Sexy Red." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." And then I seen her again when she was getting ready to leave, because I was getting ready to leave, and she was in her Escalade in the back. That shit was fire. She was in a fire ass truck. Like, yeah.
No, that was cool, man. I also made like my most viral tweet ever was she asked for somebody to make the picture of her as a president. Did I ever show you
Yes.
that? I was wearing the shirt actually.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's just pinned on my I think on my Twitter to this day.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a cool experience. Shout out to Wayfest for even calling us out to do that.
Yes. Shout out to Creative Nation.
That might have Creative Nation. That was the first Wayfest, right?
Yep.
The first one. Yeah. They
Yep.
might have us back next year. We might have a bigger stage, a better stage placement. I don't know.
That would be lit. That was, yeah.
That was my
pretty
first time
fun.
doing, I think, a live, like an official live podcast. So that was like a
Really?
learning experience. The thing I would do different is probably wear headphones. We've done since then, I think one before that, but we've done like a few live things, and it's like the thing I don't like about it is you can't hear each other that well, so it just
Right.
feels like you're just yelling into the mic.
Okay, yeah, I did
Yeah.
peep that. I did. I
Even if you watch the clips back from that one, we're like screaming kind of.
Facts.
But yeah, it was cool though.
Yeah,
a
no,
fun
it was
experience.
definitely cool. That was, for a first, anything like that was great. That was my first time. No. Yeah, that was my first time doing a festival. I did a Fuse Fest, but that was my first time doing like a music festival. So,
They gave us a little bit of money. It wasn't like crazy, so we all got a little bit of money. That was cool though. We got tickets.
yes.
I went and seen Sexy. I seen what's bro name? Was it Boss Man D-Lo?
Boss Man D-Lo.
He was cool. He actually snapped. I feel like he might have went harder than Sexy on that shit. I'm not even gonna lie.
For real.
He snapped.
I saw like one of his songs. Honestly, I was trying to sit down. Like, so I was like way up in the top in the grass.
Yeah.
Like, so I was trying to sit. I was sitting down in the grass, and I seen Boss Man D-Lo. I seen like one of his songs. Then I ended up leaving after that. But
Come on, we're gonna do some shit again. I'm gonna invite you out again. You one of my go-to DJs whenever I don't do that much shit, but when I do stuff. Hell yeah.
yes.
What do you even I guess you're going by Lil Blackheart, right? Still? on these.
Yeah, dang, that's crazy.
The first two were Lil Black. I don't know what to say as your name on the outro. Raven, Chrissy,
Raven,
Lil
Chrissy,
Blackheart.
Little Blackheart. Dang, that's wild. I had so many eras. Well, it's not even eras. Raven was just my stripper name this whole time.
Oh, okay.
And
I think I just call you Chrissy.
Yo.
I think in my phone you're saved as Hey Miss Chrissy.
I remember that Instagram. That Instagram got suspended. That Instagram was at that Instagram was at 10,000 something followers. And I don't give a fuck about Instagram, but it's like, damn, bro, that's money. Like, shit. Shit, bro. They took my damn Instagram. I done been kicked off so many fucking times. Instagram and Twitter. So Got to keep changing my name.
Look, I appreciate you for coming through. If you guys are watching this, book her for a set. Check out her, check out her stuff. She does vlogs and stuff. We didn't really touch on that, but check out her vlogs.
Yes.
She'll be going into like story times. She does it on TikTok.
Yes, I have
to
do another story time soon. I'm on TikTok now. I don't know what's going to happen with, you know what I'm saying? They talking about TikTok is going to be banned and all that. I don't know. But for right now, I am on TikTok too, doing vlogs and stuff. But my longer vlogs are on YouTube and my story times are on YouTube.
Okay. We'll put all those links in the description.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, we appreciate you for tuning in. Come out, check out these different New Year's Eve gigs. Another year. Going crazy. Hopefully, God willing, this time next year, we're taking it all the way.
All the way.
Yeah. Peace.
Peace.